to show that you have money to take care of yourself. Now, the most surest forms of proof of fund is either the one given to you by a scholarship awarding institution or the money that's in your own account, especially if you have come to the age of accountability, like if you have crossed that age of 18 and considered an adult for visa application purposes. It is best that your dad transfers that money to an account in your name. You can also take loans, for instance, but sometimes I will also discuss that shortly. But if your dad has the money, it is best that he transfers that money to you. I believe that all of us here are trusted by our parents, but if your dad is afraid of maybe something is going to happen to the money, for instance, he should put that money in an account in your name and restrict withdrawal access, right? Because when you provide your father's bank account as your proof of fund, the visa officer is going to begin to look at how many children does your dad have. So your dad is now going to need to provide a way bigger amount of money than you would have provided if your own account was used. So because your dad may probably have other children and they are going to start asking questions about country, there are agencies that loan money to people. And what they do is you pay them a commission and they give you a particular amount of money or the required amount of money and take a percentage of that money in commission. So they fix that money into your account, but they put a restriction on your account. You cannot withdraw it. The money is going to be fixed there for the specific period that is required. That's an easier form of loan to get when you are looking at proof of funding. But in that case, what it means is that you will be able to sort out all the other expenses that are related to your visa application. For instance, the cost of paying for your visa, the cost of doing your medicals and all of that. Again, the scholarship you win will also define how sip some water. The nature of the scholarship you win will also determine how much of these other expenses will be borne by you or will be covered by the scholarship. Your medical report you will also need to provide. If you don't provide a medical report, the country is going to consider you unhealthy and unfit for studies, and they will not take your visa application. Now, test scores. Excuse me. The test scores are not compulsory for is dependent on the country. Some countries will require it, some other countries will not require it. I did not have to present GRE or IELTS when I was coming to the UK. It depends. Excuse me. Uh, it depends on the country you are going to. All right. So the police clearance report, I've already mentioned that the visa application form must be completed either online or it's online. Then you need to pay your visa application fee. Now, for those of you who do not have international passports, I want you to look at it this way. International passport expensive. I repeat, international passports in Nigeria are not expensive. It only becomes expensive if you choose to use an agent to do it. And that's one of the beefs I have with agents because they charge so much money to do things that everybody who is serious can do. Through the website of the Nigerian Immigration Services, the total cost of your passport, as at the last time I helped someone do it, would be somewhere around 20 something thousand. It may be able to get the things that we need to get at the end of the event. So let's continue. If you are applying for visa, how do you submit an application that is perfect, an application that cannot be rejected? That's the question. And that's, I believe, one of the key reasons why you are in this event today. Now, a lot of people come to approach visa application as if they are trying to talk to somebody who is not knowledgeable. But the point is that every visa officer is a well-trained person. They are highly sophisticated. They can detect contradictions. These are your parents. These are the names of your parents, and write those names the way they are. If you are going to apply for visa and the names on your passport are written in a particular order, your first name, your second name, or your middle name, and your last name, please follow that same order. And try to ensure that the name arrangement on your certificate tallies with your name arrangements on your passport. Don't go to your passport and your name is Chukwuemeka Augustine Okechukwu, and then when you go to your certificate it is Okechukwu Chukwuemeka Augustine. Don't, that mismatch is a red flag for a visa officer. So provide all the relevant information and pay attention. These questions follow themselves in sequence. So the thing you answer in one stage is linked to what you answer in the next stage. And that's why if you have contradictions, the person will know. Because if you said, for instance, that your marriage was not arranged, is not an arranged marriage, and you did not travel for the marriage, or you say that this person is married to you but you are related by blood, you are already contradicting yourself. You're already telling the person that you are telling lies in your visa application. And every visa application will have those sensitive questions somewhere. So if you are not confident that you understand the question, please ask somebody else to have a look, somebody with good experience. Do not ask somebody who does not know better than you. Then the other thing is, that's what I'm trying to say about being careful with indirect questions. Sometimes they're going to be about the, you said you're coming to the UK for studies, and somewhere they're asking you about the city, and you are writing a different city, providing the name of a different city from the one where the institution that's giving you admission is located. Or you go to your visa interview and somebody is asking you, where are you going to, and you're talking about a different city other than the one that's your school. That should be your purpose of going to the country. What happens afterwards is dependent on the situation of the country and your feelings at the time. Even when you go for your interview and they're asking you questions and trying to dig into whether you're going to stay back, be systematic about the question, the answers you provide. Don't go there to say, well, you know that my country is so bad, I'm traveling now and never going to come back again. Once I leave this country, it's over for my country, it's over between me and my country. That's not going to be a very good impression. And if you do that, believe me, your visa application is going to be denied. Don't go to your visa application and badmouth your country. Is a red flag that you want to avoid. Your country might be bad, things might not be going on well, but please do not your visa application. Then you must meet your proof of funding requirements. I keep emphasizing this. It's about the amount of money and then about the time frame. You might have more money than the proof of fund requires you to have, but if the time frame is not right, then that proof of fund is going to, it will not fly with the visa application, with a visa approval officer. So if they say that your proof of fund must cover 28 days, let it cover 29, or let it cover maybe 30. But let it not cover just 26 days. You don't want to be 1 day short of that requirement, and they know it. You don't want to be 1 naira short of the amount of money that is required. They will not understand. And especially if your money is in naira, because of the differences in the exchange, you even want to have an extra amount on top of that requirement that they've told you to have. So if they say that you need evidence, you are still okay. I know of somebody who was coming to the UK, and a day to his biometrics, his school sent him an email that the amount of money he had provided as proof of fund is no longer sufficient, and he had to cancel that biometric appointment and had to go back to add up some money to the naira account that he was going to use as a proof of fund, because the currency had changed value significantly. And I'm not trying to say that you should go and stock up dollars. If you don't have access to dollars or you don't have access to pound sterling, just know that if the 2 million naira for what I'm going to study, if questions are asked, how is this related to your previous experience or to your previous study, you must be able to articulate it. If this is different from your previous study, why are you going into that? You must also be able to articulate in clear terms why you are taking this new direction. These are the things that you must do. If you are not able to provide those articulate answers yet, please do not go for your visa application. And you can speak to people if you are unclear, but please go there with a clear study plan. And if you have got a previous visa violation, don't do it. I used to tell people that these countries are very good at record keeping. All these white countries, they keep their records very intact. If you have traveled to a country before and overstayed your visa in the country, it's a violation. Or if you have traveled before and the country said you can work 20 hours per week as a student and you were working 40 hours a week and the country discovered it, that's a violation. The next time you apply for a visa, that violation is going to come after you. Right? So if you are supporting a terrorist organization, is this person against this country he's going to? Is this person an enemy of the United States and planning to come to the United States? Some of these things are things that people just make posts, people could just come online, make careless posts, say things very carelessly, and in the end, they don't realize where their problems are coming from. So these pitfalls, you must avoid them. Don't also go into forgery. Don't go into lies. If you don't have a certificate, do not claim that you have one. If you don't have a degree certificate, do not claim that you have one. Do not make up one for yourself. If you don't have the right proof of fund, do not go and forge a bank statement. Transaction with proof of fund, please let that person